A good shepherd. Good shepherds are mentioned many times in the Bible. It is sort of a metaphor because God is the good shepherd and we are like the sheep. God takes care of us and protects us like the good shepherd does to the sheep. Also, the shepherd almost never leaves the sheep alone, just like God is always with us. Other people can be a good shepherd too, like your mom, dad, or teacher. For me, the good shepherd is my mom. It is because she is always with me and my siblings, especially now. She always takes care of us, cooking dinner and helping us with whatever we need. She always makes us wear a mask and wash our hands. But everyone has their own opinions, so your good shepherd could be anyone you know.
The Lucid is a new electric car startup company. It is supposed to be more luxurious than a Tesla. A Tesla interior is not that luxurious. The powertrain is developed by racing in a race division called Formula E. It is an all-electric car race. Lucid CEO is the person that helped design the Tesla Model S. The car, the Lucid Air, is gonna be called the Lucid Air. Lucid Air is a Silicon Valley-based company, but the car will be made in Arizona, Casa Grande, and because Lucid is a startup company, they needed investors to give them money so they can build the factory and the cars. The Lucid Air is supposed to go into production in early 2021.
Here to uphold the resolution. Resolved, beta fish or Siamese fighting fish are the best pets for 2020. It is my responsibility as the first affirmative speaker to define the terms of this debate. Beta splendor means beta of small brilliantly colored finned freshwater bony fishes of southern Asia especially. Best means the highest quality or most well suited. Pets is defined as animals kept for companionship, and 2020 is defined as the current calendar year. I have 2 points to support our stand that the resolution is sound. First, betas are really easy to care for and you only need 1 to 2 hours a week to care for them. Those 1 to 2 hours will mainly be cleaning the fish bowl, checking the water, and feeding the fish. Though they may not be carefree, they are care easy and pretty easy to care for. Second, most aquariums for most fish cost a lot of money, but an easy kit for a beta can be set up for less than $25, and some decent beta tank fish can be set up for a few dollars. So in conclusion, we ask that you hold for the affirmative team in support for the resolution. Beta fishes are the best pet for 2020 because they're easy to care for and they don't take much money.
Summer, an event that people wait days for. Summer is one of the most exciting holidays of the year, with kids running out of school and flowers frolicking in the fields. Summer is an event to remember, which is why I'm reading these poems about summer. This first one you might have heard of, and it's called Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day by William Shakespeare. It is one of his most famous sonnets, made in 1609, and was originally named Sonnet 18. This sonnet is very special, so I hope you can cherish this moment. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou oust. Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines time thou growst. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. This next poem is called A Summer Love Poem, written by Nikki Giovanni. Out of many poems that she wrote, I chose this one specifically. It talks about summer romance. And summer is my topic today. This is a very beautiful poem. So listen in closely as we set off to beautiful summer days. A summer love poem. Clouds float by on a summer sky. I hopscotch over to you. Rainbows arch from ground to gold. I climb over to you. Thunder grumbles and lightning trembles, and I bounce over to you. Sun beams back and catches me, smiling over at you. And my third and final poem, we're going to set off on an adventure to the beautiful golden sun. This next poem is called Golden Sun by Leonore Hendrick. In this poem, he describes the beautiful sun shining down on him every day, and how he never wanted to leave. Golden Sun by Leonore Hendrick. Great and glorious golden sun, shine down on me today. You are the life of all this earth, you and your magical ray. You are the life of bird and plant, all must depend on you. Shine down, great sun, the whole day long, shine from the heavens blue. And I will welcome your golden rays, for you mean life to me. And you mean happiness and health, strength and energy. Shine down, great sun, on flower and field, and never say goodbye. Forever and ever, give us your light from out the wide blue sky.
So, the point of all of these by Romeo Balinkongen. So, nothingness. Imagine nothingness. The nothingness which is nothing of the nothingness we are all familiar with. Not the nothingness which is nothing but empty space and time. Like when you open an empty room? No. The nothingness where nothing truly exists. Not space, not even time. A singular point. Imagine a singular point. The ultimate singular point that contains all possible points in the development of the universe. Come out and expand. From the birthing of time, the instance of the Big Bang, which, by the way, is not a large explosion, as the words imply, but a silent, rapid expansion, pushing the envelope where nothingness begins. Chance. Imagine chance, the random occurrence of events, of fundamental particles colliding and uniting, or annihilating each other, giving rise to protons, neutrons, and electrons, giving rise to the periodic table, to compounds both organic and inorganic, to macromolecules. Billions of years. Imagine billions of years gone by, and billions of galaxies filling the sky. Stars, quasars, and pulsars, planets and comets and meteors, nihilely hurling through. Dark matter and ever-expanding space, yet inanimate still. A single cell. Imagine a single cell, formed inexplicably so, in staggeringly high improbable way. As carbon molecules combine, start to throb and pulsate, chance, bringing forth life, in a barren and otherwise lifeless universe. Consciousness. Imagine consciousness, propulsive, willful, deliberate. Feelings.
Imagine feelings: love, compassion, hatred. Imagine all in a universe that came out of itself from nothingness. It is hard, of course, for after all, we are creatures of somethingness. But at this point, you must have seen the point of all ramblings and turns and trajectory of my thought, tracing the evolutionary course of the universe, from nothingness, and the singular point that without God, we all things are, after all, pointless.
Hi, I'm Leilani and I'll be presenting excerpts from Emmeline Pankhurst's Freedom or Death, 1913. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here as a soldier who has temporarily left the field of battle in order to explain what civil war is like when civil war is waged by women. I am here as a person who, according to the law courts of my country, is of no value to the community at all. I dare say, in the minds of many of you, that I do not look either very like a soldier or very like a convict, and yet I am both. If I were a man and I said to you, I come from a country which professes to have representative institutions, and yet denies me, a taxpayer, an inhabitant of the country, representative rights, you would at once understand that that human being a man, was justified in the adoption of revolutionary methods to get representative institutions. But since I'm a woman, it is necessary in the 20th century to explain why women have adopted revolutionary methods in order to gain the rights of citizenship. In trying to make our case clear, we always have to make as a part of our argument a very simple fact, that women are human beings. It is quite evident you do not realize we are human beings. It would not be necessary to argue with you that women may, suffering from intolerable injustice, be driven to adopt revolutionary methods. How are they going to persuade people that they ought to have the vote by breaking their windows, you say? It is a practical political means, the only means we consider available to voteless persons. It is clear that if you have not got the vote, you must either submit to the laws, just or unjust, or inevitably revolt against the injustice and use violent means to put an end to it. We are not going to prison to get the vote, merely to say we have the vote. We're going to prison to get the vote, so that by means of the vote, we may bring about better conditions, not only for ourselves, but for the community as a whole. The race must be saved, and it can only be saved through the emancipation of women. We have rejoiced full-heartedly in your victories. 10 years ago, there was hardly any women's suffrage movement at all. And now, even in China and Japan, in India and Turkey, everywhere, women are rising up and asking for these large opportunities. I come to ask you to help win this fight. If we win it, this hardest of all fights, then, to be sure, in the future, it is going to be made easier for women all over the world to win their fight when their time comes.
Parable of the Good Shepherd, John chapter 10. Very truly I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. For one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls out his sheep by name and leads them out. After he brings out all his own, he goes on ahead of them. The sheep follow him because they know his voice, but they will not follow a stranger's voice. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize the stranger's voice. I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd will lay down his life for his sheep. The hired hand, who is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The hired hand runs away because he is not the shepherd and does not care for the sheep. My name is Toby, and here is my interpretation of the parable of the Good Shepherd. According to the dictionary, the definition of a good shepherd is a person who tends and rears sheep. But what confuses people is that shepherds don't just take care of sheep, but do a whole lot more than that. A shepherd acts like a person. A shepherd acts like a parent who takes care of their child, or an owner who watches over their pet. But a good shepherd will lay down his or her life for their sheep. To me, the best examples of good shepherds are my parents. They are the ones who have raised me, taken care of me, looked after me, and loved me. But most of all, my parents love me so much that they would give their lives for me, just as Jesus gave with his sheep. My mom and dad are like my inner moral compass. They are the ones that make sure I don't wander off from the flock or go down the wrong path and get lost. They try their best to guide me in the right direction with a staff or, at times, a rod, if needed. My parents are amazing examples of good shepherds. In my opinion, a shepherd can take many different forms, but as long as they are loving and genuinely loving of their care about their children, they are good shepherds with the eyes of God. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.
Okay, hi, my name is Jordan and I will be talking about octopuses. Octopuses are very smart and they have 2 eyes like humans. They also have 1 mouth like humans, but everything else about them is different. They have 8 legs, and on each leg there's a small donut-shaped sticky thing that's called a sucker. The sucker looks like a donut, they're donut shaped, and they've got it on each arm. These suckers taste and smell for the octopus. An octopus is very smart. It doesn't have just 1 brain. It actually has 9 brains. The octopus has 1 central brain and 1 tiny brain for each leg. An octopus does not have 1 heart. An octopus doesn't have 9 hearts like its brain, but it actually has 3 hearts. An octopus's hearts pump blue blood to its lungs and the rest of its body. An octopus have a sharp beak. So you can see their mouth kind of looks like a bird beak, and they have a beak for like cracking shells, and that's like for when they eat crab or clams. They also eat fish. Octopuses don't have ears. Octopuses use a cool superpower, you could call it, and it's called static quiz. And they use vibrations to see things. Let's just say a shark is approaching them. An octopus can see the shark, but not with its eyes. An octopus actually sees with the vibrations. Vibrations avoid the shark and bounce off from the octopus. The octopus uses something called camouflage to hide from the shark. Can you tell which one of these seaweed-looking rocks is the octopus? One way you can tell it's an octopus is this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs. And this one only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An octopus can also squeeze through very small objects. Let's just say there is a big rock and the octopus can go through it. But the shark cannot. The octopus also has another power, and down here it has like a little kind of like, if you look at it, it has like a hole on the bottom, and this hole can shoot out black smoke kind of, so the enemy or the predator cannot see the octopus. Octopuses are very nice and entertaining. If you get one for a pet, well, you should, because octopuses could also be good playmates for hide and seek. Octopuses are very nice, and you might need to seal your tank because octopuses can get through it.
Once upon a time, fairy tales were horrible. Not boring horrible, not so cute you want to jump out of the window horrible. Horrible, like they define in the dictionary. Horrible. Adjective, causing feelings of horror, dread, unbearable sadness, and nausea. Also tending to produce nightmares, whimpering for one's parents, and bedwetting. I know what you're thinking. Fairy tales? Horrible? Please. I get that. If you've been raised on the drivel that passes for fairy tale these days, you're not going to believe a word I'm saying. First of all, you're probably used to hearing the same old boring fairy tales over and over and over again. Today, children, we're going to read a Cinderella story from China. Today, children, we're going to read a Cinderella story from Madagascar. Today, children, we're going to read a Cinderella story from the moon. Today, children. Second of all, those fairy tales you hear over and over and over again aren't even the real fairy tales. Has your teacher ever said, "Today, children, we're going to read a Cinderella story where the stepsisters cut off their toes and their heels with a butcher's knife, and then their eyes get pecked out by crows"? Is everybody ready? Is everybody sitting crisscross applesauce? No? She's never said that? I didn't think so. But that's what fairy tales are like. Strange, bloody, and horrible. You see, buried in these rhymes and tales are true stories of true children who fought through the darkest of times and came out on the other end stronger, braver, and usually completely covered in blood. This book is a tale of two children, a boy named Jack and a girl named Jill. Yes, they do fall down a hill at one point, and yes, Jack does break his head wide open. But there's more than that. There's a beanstalk, there are giants, there might even be a mermaid or two. Their story is terrifying. It's revolting. It's horrible. It's the most horrible fairy tale I have ever heard. Also, it's beautiful. Not sweet, not cute. Beautiful. The gray and golden ashes in a fireplace. Or like the deep russet of drying stains of blood. And best of all, it is all true. Now let me just say that if you happen to be the kind of person who actually likes cute fairy tales, or the kind of person who thinks children should not read about decapitation or dismemberment, or finally, if you're the kind of person who upon hearing about two children wading through a pool of blood and vomit runs out of the room screaming, this book is not for you.
Hi, today I'm reading you a song that's very near and dear to my heart. It's also a favorite of many. It's in these unprecedented times that we need to draw nearer to God and stand upon the promises He has given to us. So, without further ado, here is Psalm 91. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but no harm will come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say, "The Lord is my refuge," and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call out on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With a long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.